Good morning, church. Welcome to our devotion. Our devotion today will be taken from Genesis chapter 37, verses 19 to 28. In this chapter, Joseph is going to be deceived by his brothers, and there is a hatred towards Joseph because Joseph is the father's favorite son. And here we see that Reuben has a plan not to get rid of Joseph, but to put him in a pit. Probably later on, as we know the story, that Reuben is going to rescue him. And this guy, Joseph, who will be rescued now, will later on rescue them when there's a famine in the land. So, probably after Joseph is put in the pit, he gets all sorts of thoughts in his head, and he probably thinks, am I going to die over here? Am I going to be abandoned over here? Are they going to take me out and kill me? Do I deserve to be treated like this? I've not done anything wrong. And this can be us sometimes. Without doing anything wrong, we are punished like this, and we come into a place where we are punished. But instead of thinking of it as a place of punishment, let's think of it as a God ordained place where we have time to think, ponder, and call upon the Lord. Was Joseph hurt in all this? Yes, he was. But he had himself, he had God, he had time to ponder on the situation around him. In Psalm 56, verse 1 to 4, we see that David's enemies are surrounding him, but he calls upon the Lord and he says simple words like, Lord, be merciful to me. Do not let my enemies oppress me. My enemies are many, he goes on to say. And then, in verse 4, he says, I will praise the Lord. In him I have put my trust. So, if you think about these pits were anywhere between 4 feet to 80 feet. This was probably, just big enough to fit Joseph. Once upon a time, this pit was filled with water and probably served, as a well to passerbys, and it had served its purpose in this day. But this pit was now being used to house Joseph. Now, this was an empty pit, and because it was an empty pit, Joseph did not drown in it. It was also a safe place for Joseph until Reuben rescued him later on. It also was in the right place at the right time. You know, I remember a verse out of the life of Job, and it applies over here. It's from Job 23 verse 10. It says, but God knows the way that I take, and when he has tried me, I shall come forth as gold. So here we see that, the pit was a safety box for Joseph in trying times. And Psalms 46 verse 1, it goes on to say that God is a refuge and strength, a very present help when in trouble. So here we see Joseph, he is stuck and he's having the worst time of his life. Now, there was a story told about a guy, his name was Tracy Bailey, and he was a teenager in his late teens, and he had committed many crimes. He used to get drunk on a regular basis. He used to vandalize his school, and one day he got caught. And all he knew was to hold his head up high, and he did not care about what happened to him in life. So one day he was put before a judge, and the judge sentenced him to 5 years in prison. And until he was in his cell, alone in the cell with a cot and with a pot and with a wash basin, he did not know the seriousness of the crimes that he had committed. And in those moments, he began to trust God and call upon the name of the Lord. And instead of being 5 years in prison, he was let out in 14 months on probation. And in the meantime, while he was in prison, he started attending Bible studies, and he began, when he was let out, he a few years later, he became a science teacher in a college in Florida. So these are these God ordained moments where, our lives may seem empty. It may seem that we are in an empty pit, but moments like these are God ordained. Now, look at Joseph's life. The brothers tried to betray him, but where did he end up? He ended up in Potiphar's house. Now, even Potiphar's wife tried to, accuse him, but where did he go? He went to prison. Then we see even the butler forgot him. And where did he end up? He ended up being the prime minister. Now, if these key moments in Joseph's life wouldn't occur, then Joseph would come out as an ordinary man. So, key moments are God shaping moments, and they are there to teach us the vital lessons in life. And in those moments, we remember God, and we call upon the Lord, and everything, God seems so, real to us in those trying moments. So this is a devotion for today. Have a nice day, guys.